Hey friends, welcome back to the homestead. The seasons are changing and it's time to give the garden a fresh start for fall. Today I'll be clearing out some of the summer plants that are finished, adding compost to refresh the soil, and starting seeds for cool season crops. I will show you a trick I've learned and a big reason we have so much comfrey growing in the garden. Some of the first summer crops that I have already been taking out are the golden berries that were in the ends of these three beds here. They had pretty much been spent. They really did a great job producing and providing for the family this year, so it was time for them to go. But as you can see here, I do still have a lot of stuff that is doing really well, specifically because I planted these beans super late in the season. These Thai soldier beans, this will actually be my first harvest here. And then I believe they're the Kentucky Wonder beans over here, these other pole beans that I have just starting to come in for me. And I did plant a bunch of bush beans and cucumbers that are all just starting to flower and come in. This mullein here is just amazing, and I have harvested so much over the summer that I'm just kind of leaving this one because I don't think I could possibly need any more. But my tomatillos here are still flowering, and this is the bush beans that I was mentioning before. I do still have a lot of harvest coming in. I am very blessed to have a long growing season, but at the same time, the summers are just so scorching hot that it makes it small in a way because it peters out a lot of my crops, like the tomatoes that I will be taking out today that I will show you shortly. So this little cucumber here is going to be my first one. And hopefully I get more so that I can do actual canning with these cucumbers, but it looks like I'll probably just get refrigerator pickles this year, and that's totally fine. I started super late with these, which is fine for me. There's a bunch of volunteer tomatoes back there that are ready, and this is the first and only ever loofah that I have ever gotten, so I'm letting it go. But as you can see, it's still growing. That was a long line, and those patty pan squashes are definitely spent. They were not growing normally this year, but otherwise the garden is ready to transition. These tomato plants are not good. They are so burnt is a great word for it. Spent is another one. Even with the little yellow flowers at the tips on some of them, the entire plant is just ready to go. What tomatoes have been left on it have been cooked in the sun, because believe it or not, here in Northern California we are still getting 90+ degree days. We actually got into triple digits, I believe, on the day that I'm filming this, and they just can't handle that high of heat for that long, and they just, they couldn't tolerate it, so they have to go. And I'm going to show you the process or at least what my process is with the kids in taking these out, and what we do to recondition the beds for either the next planting or for overwintering them. These three tomato plants I will be leaving in. They're not quite as tired yet, so we'll see how those go, but they will be on the next part of the chopping block, so to speak. And I do have all my kids out here with me. They're going to be helping me give these spent tomato plants to the chickens. They absolutely love them. And yes, there is things floating around online that does say that tomato plants, because they're nightshades, are not good for chickens. I have been doing this for years, and they have never shown any signs of issues. However, I have tried giving them other nightshades, and they just turn their nose up at it, so to speak, and they will not have anything of it. So I truly feel the chickens know what is good for them and what is not instinctually. So My children absolutely love this because they get to walk in the garden beds for a change. So I'm using a pellet chemical fertilizer for this from Azure Standard that I'm going to be massaging or mixing into the ground, the dirt, to help recondition it, because tomatoes are very, very heavy feeders, and I will come back around again and do more. But for right now, my kids are cutting up this comfrey plant that is just absolutely ginormous. I don't know if you guys have ever grown comfrey in your own yard, but it is a bully. It is just like peppermint, and it will take over. So it has taken over a third of that front part of the garden bed. But the leaves are really high in nitrogen, so you can use it by putting the leaves into a bucket and filling it with water, and then using that in a couple days as compost tea. Or what I do, because I typically forget about it in the bucket, is I will put it on this as like a hay covering, or what you would do with wood chips, and I water it in, and it really helps protect the dirt, protect the soil, so to speak. And then it does go in and recondition the soil eventually. It's the slowing way. Now tell me honestly, do I have a seed problem, or is this normal behavior? Because I get told both. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Is it normal or overkill? Hi friends, I wanted to take this moment to thank my video sponsor today, which is Vego Garden, and wanted to show you what I have. Everybody's probably heard of their wonderful metal beds, but what I have that I'm about to show you, I have never actually seen or heard of before, and was super excited when I saw them. So let me show you. This is a Vego Garden. It's a 2-tier tabletop grow light garden. And I am so excited that I'm getting this, especially in fall now, because I don't have to take up a lot of space with my other grow lights, and these look much nicer. So I can actually use them year round. So if you're in someone who has a harsher climate, you could probably grow greens and such inside all year round with a very nice looking grow light setup. And this is a 2-tier one. You know, you can see the picture here, and I'll show you. It says it's 5 minutes to set up. I am not a handy person, so let's see how long it takes me. But I am super excited to try these out and to bring you along with me. And then I also have some other things to show you that go with this. So yeah, I'm super excited. Let's open it up and see just how long it takes me. But literally, I just assembled it, attached my lights, and was able to move on to the next project. So simple. Are plastic. So this is really exciting. So this really was super simple to set up, especially for someone like myself who has no DIY experience. I always commission my husband to do it. This is a beautifully designed, sleek, modern grow light system, and has lovely no spill shelves. We can water our plants without making a mess, and we all know how important that is in our lives. These shelves can also double as the watering trays themselves, with built-in edges to capture the excess water. The grow lights are natural sunlight for indoor growing. They're full spectrum white LED light, which mimics natural sunlight, supporting all plant growth stages while providing a warm, homey aesthetic. And these suckers were bright. So the lights have 5 modes to provide optimal light for different plant growth stages, such as seeds, leafies, fruits, and so forth, even a microgreen setting, which is amazing. I also received the standard seedling trays, which has 8 growing cells, and there are many different options that you can add on to these, such as the humidity dome that self-waters into the middle of it and disperses into the 8 pockets. And then there's also the bottom watering trays. They look amazing, and based on the quality of the seedling trays, I can't recommend them enough. If you are interested in purchasing any of these items or anything else off of the Vego Garden website, there is a link in the video description box below. and also the $10 discount code, which is Pioneer Health Homestead 10 off. Thanks again to Vego Garden for sponsoring today's video. I was blessed enough to get a second harvest of lavender that I have been drying in my kitchen for several weeks now. And so I just went ahead and started garbling them, which just means taking the floral parts off the leaves and the flowers themselves. And these were a little different than the first harvest. They weren't quite as fragrant, so I did keep them in a separate container than my spring or early summer harvest lavender. But this will still be good for making teas and tinctures and soaps and all those kinds of things throughout the winter that I use it for. So always know that you might be able to get a second harvest of lavender. It's wonderful. So with these Vego Garden seed trays, I am going to be planting some of my fall seeds in them. I am really hopeful that the roots will develop well in these seed trays. This is the first time I've had some with such big air openings, and that is exciting for me to see how it does, especially for next summer when planting squash and tomatoes. We all know how quickly those roots bundle up. So some of the seeds that I'm planting, you can probably tell, is sugar peas, and I'm also going to be doing some of the Oregon Giants. I'm doing a bunch of herbs again, like cilantro, German chamomile, parsley, and then I'm doing a couple different cabbages and a couple different kales. I really haven't done too much of a fall garden before because I've always been so busy during the cooler months, usually pregnant, but I will also be planting garlic. The last garlic that I planted almost 2 years ago just finally went bad. So I'm planting the music variety again, and I have high hopes for it again in my area because we do have a lot of sun. Once I am able to transplant all of these outside, I do plan on planting some lettuce and such, and then I will also do some microgreens with the Vego Garden lights that I showed you. Let me know in the description box below what you plan on doing with your fall and winter garden this year. What are you planning on, or what have you already started, and what kind of conditions are you growing in? Do you have a moderate climate like myself, or do you have a harsh climate like something in the north? Thank you for watching today, and I will see you in next week's video. Bye, friends.